Welcome to the Roy Morgan Weekly Update. This week, support for the Labor government was virtually unchanged at 52.5%, ahead of the coalition on 47.5% on a two-party preferred basis. If a federal election were held now, the Albanese government would be returned with a narrow majority, according to the latest Roy Morgan survey. Now, this result is a slight improvement on the 2022 federal election, when the ALP was 52.1%, compared to the LNP on 47.9%. And it augurs well for Labor at the Dunkley by-election in Victoria on the first weekend in March. Government confidence was virtually unchanged as well this week at 83, but still low. So government confidence is well below the neutral level of 100 at only 83, because only 34% of Australians say the country's heading in the right direction, while 51% still say the country's heading in the wrong direction. Consumer confidence, the ANZ Roy Morgan Consumer Confidence, was also virtually unchanged this week at 82.8. Consumer confidence has now spent 55 weeks below the level of 85, the longest time below 85 in the history of the measurement. Although the Reserve Bank have not increased interest rates since November, the momentum in mortgage stress and cost of living pressures continues unabated, keeping a lid on consumer confidence. In Victoria, consumer confidence dropped 5 points to 80.2, as suggested by Robert Gottliebsen and prior to the full impact of Taylor Swift's visit. However, there was one movement in one indicator which is quite concerning. That's inflation expectations. So Australians' expectations of inflation were up 0.3% to 5.2% this week. Australians now expect annual inflation to be 5.2% over the next 2 years. Although there was a jump this week, the longer-term trends show inflation expectations have now averaged 5.2% for the last 6 months. That's since late August 2023. This renewed rise in inflation expectations just this week is unsurprising given the price of petrol. Average retail petrol prices in Australia have now spent a record 32 weeks, more than 7 months, above $1.80 per litre. Petrol prices did dip early in January, but have now spent all of Feb above $1.90 per litre, indicating a sustained rise as people return to work after the holiday period, and people are noticing the increased prices. Finally this week, we turn to the business community with a look at sentiment in the business world. Now, Roy Morgan's business confidence for January shows the index rising for a second straight month, up 2.1 points to 93.2. That's its highest for 6 months, again since August 2023, but it's still well below neutral. Roy Morgan interviews around 1,500 businesses each and every month, and business confidence has now spent a record 12 straight months under the neutral level of 100. For context, the 15-year average for business confidence is 111. So the back-to-back increases to business confidence in December and then January are the first time the index has improved in 2 consecutive months since early last year. However, the impetus for the increase in January was improved views about the performance of the Australian economy over the next year and the next 5 years. Businesses, as you know, are generally positive about their own performance going forward. They have to be. And 42.3% of businesses expect to be better off financially this time next year, compared to only 25% that expect to be worse off. Over the last 2 months of December and January, only 7 industries had business confidence in positive territory, above the neutral level of 100. Community services, accommodation and food services, education and training, administration and support services, professional, scientific and technical services, electricity, gas and water, and recreation. Many government-related industries. The most confident industry was community services with a business confidence of 112.7. At the other end of the scale, it's transport, postal and warehousing that clearly has the lowest business confidence at only 64.6. Other industries with below average business confidence to start 2024 include agriculture, manufacturing, construction and property and business services. And that's a wrap. Thanks for your interest this week in Roy Morgan's latest results, and I'll be back next week to bring you the most up-to-date readings on consumer confidence, inflation expectations, voting intention and mortgage stress, and a look at Roy Morgan's gender pay gap. I'll give you a clue. It's one of the best in the industry. Thanks for listening. See you next week.